Hey there, I'm the Faun. With just 2 days to go until the Paris Olympics, I still have one Mexican medal I want to tell you about. Speaking of the Olympics, the only Mexican who can outdo Maria Espinosa is, of course, Maria Espinosa herself. 4 years after London, having reinvented herself to maintain her level and compete in all world-class events, Maria was at the top of her game. Maybe not at her absolute peak, but she was still holding her own among the world's elite. Rio 2016 was a tough challenge because she wasn't a rookie anymore. She was one of the few athletes, men and women alike, who made it to those games after going through the transition from the old electronic scoring system. Most of the competitors there were young and had grown up with the new system. The fighting style had changed dramatically from 4 years ago. And not just that, the physical makeup of the competitors was radically different as well. It was so different that stars like Melissa Mandic, the reigning Olympic champion at the time, couldn't even make it past the quarterfinals. In every fight, Maria faced opponents taller than herself, some even much taller, like the Moroccan Wei and Islam in the quarterfinals or the Chinese Xiao Yingsheng in the final. By that point, she had become a master at landing punches. In fact, during the competition, we saw her use very few techniques, but with the effectiveness of a true master. In the semi-finals, she faced what I consider to be her toughest fight in all the Olympic Games she competed in. Her opponent was the American Jackie Galloway, who had once competed for Mexico and was now facing off against Maria. Jackie had beaten Maria before and fought her without any respect. She was just an athlete who had grown up in the era of electronic scoring. It was a fight to prove to everyone that when it really mattered, the past didn't count. The final against the Chinese competitor was also incredibly tough. I didn't think it was the cleanest match, but the rules and paradigm shifts in the sport since Maria started her career worked against her. That's how she managed to secure her third Olympic medal that afternoon. But that wasn't all. Yesterday, I mentioned that Maria had taken on a responsibility that wasn't hers, but she accepted it almost without realizing it. On that day, Maria Espinosa not only won her third Olympic medal, but also breathed new life into Mexican Taekwondo. That day, Maria wasn't just making history for herself, she was simultaneously salvaging the reputation of an entire country. That's why I believe this medal was much more significant than her 2008 gold, and carries greater weight in the collective consciousness. Mexico had always won a medal in the Olympic Games, and that streak remained intact until that day, thanks to Maria. Of course, nobody knew what would come next. But as I mentioned, that silver medal was enough to keep the Olympic flame burning for at least the next 4 years. The rest, as they say, is another story and should be told another time. If you enjoyed this video, please consider subscribing to the channel, giving it a thumbs up, turning on notifications, and of course, telling a friend about it. Sharing our content is the best way to support us, but if you'd like to lend a hand in a more tangible way, I invite you to check out our channel memberships or browse our virtual store.